Although critics weren't terribly impressed, last year's Venom movie was a surprise hit, both at the box office and with audience approval. It was certainly an improvement over Topher Grace's portrayal of Venom in Spider-Man 3, but then that bar was not set very high. Luckily enough, we will get to see Tom Hardy take up the symbiote mantle once again in a sequel to Venom, with all eyes over on Sony universe of Marvel characters following a botched deal between Disney and Sony that effectively booted Spider-Man out of the MCU. It might be Venom's time to shine after his critically panned debut. Here's everything we know about Venom so far. What's the plot for Venom 2? With Carlton Drake aka Riot out of the picture after exploding inside a spaceship towards the end of the first film, Eddie and Venom's initial nemesis will most likely not be back. Luckily, Venom's mid-credit scenes was a strong indicator as to who was going to fill the villain void in the sequel. Woody Harrelson's new character, Cletus Cassidy, was revealed in the scene. Brock, once again working as a journalist, interviews Cassidy, a captured serial killer in prison. It's creepy as hell, but there's not much to go off of plot-wise other than Cassidy's promise that,
"When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage."
That line is an on-the-nose reference that confirms Cassidy's identity. In the comics, he merges with a symbiote named Carnage, a kind of offspring that Venom shed once while breaking Brock out of prison. Carnage bonds on a deep level with Cassidy, developing violent abilities that even Venom doesn't possess. It's uncertain how much of Carnage and Cassidy's storyline will be pulled for Venom 2, but we can be certain that it's gonna be bloody and violent as all get out. Andy Serkis will be directing. Ruben Fleischer, the director of the first Venom movie, was unable to return for the sequel because he was too busy working on a sequel to his own movie Zombieland. Instead, the studio has brought in Andy Serkis. With his extensive experience in motion capture performance, having played Gollum, King Kong, Captain Haddock, Planet of the Apes Caesar, and Supreme Leader Snoke using the technology, Serkis should be able to find a great way to make Eddie Brock and Venom more intertwined, as opposed to Venom just looking like a bland CGI plastered over Tom Hardy's face. When will Venom 2 hit theaters? Venom 2 is currently slated for release on October 2nd, 2020. Before that, however, Sony has another SUMC release, Morbius, a standalone film for the Spider-Man vampire villain of the same name. That film, which stars Jared Leto, will hit theaters July 31st, 2020, and is directed by Daniel Espinosa. Is this the last Venom film? The short answer, it's uncertain. Tom Hardy is signed onto a 3-picture contract with Sony. Given the commercial success of the film and Sony's future plans for Marvel characters, if the sequel does well, Venom 3 doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. Michelle Williams is back. Some critics felt that Michelle Williams phoned in her scenes as Anne Wang in last year's Venom, or that she looked confused in a lot of the scenes. However, she signed on to appear in the sequel, so maybe she's more committed than those critics realized. As a district attorney and Eddie's ex-fiancé, there's a lot to dig out of this character. The first movie didn't really know what to do with Anne, and as a result, the immensely talented Williams was wasted. Williams reportedly wants to see more of She-Venom in the sequel. Frankly, so do fans. Tom Hardy has been working on the script. In the same year that it was reported that Ezra Miller is writing his own script for the Flash's solo movie, it was announced that Tom Hardy had been working on the script for Venom 2. Hardy has worked with screenwriter Kelly Marcel before, when she was hired as the script editor for his true-to-life prison drama Bronson. Director Andy Serkis confirmed that Hardy had been very involved with Marcel in the writing process for the sequel when he was first brought on board. Venom 2 won't be rated R. Marvel fans were disappointed when they found out that Sony had gone for a PG-13 rating and chickened out of making their Venom movie R-rated. If ever a character was crying out for an R rating, apart from Deadpool, it's Venom.
Today was about as much fun as a sandpaper dildo.
Well, as it turns out, the sequel won't be rated R either. Producer Avia Rod said, "When you hear Carnage, the only thing you can think of is R. But if you know his story, if you really know the comic, there's no R here. He's a tortured soul. It's not about what he does, because we never have to show the knife going from here to there, and the blood is pouring. What you have to show is, what is the motivation?" Tom Holland's Spider-Man might make an appearance. Ever since Sony announced their own MCU-style universe of movies based on Marvel comics that would interconnect through post-credit scenes and team-ups, an appearance by Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been teased. Sony is basically building a whole universe around Spidey villains, so they're naturally adamant that Spidey will show up. Are you looking forward to seeing Venom 2? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to check out moviegasm.com. My name is Blaine, and we appreciate you sticking around until the end.